Hello, welcome to Lemon Series, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share them, leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, one more piece of house clean. Sorry if you hear the drizzle that is happening outside. It has been raining non-stop in my area for quite some time now, and I just figured, well, I better record now before it's too late to do the review. Post episode of SmackDown after Crown Jewel. How is Cody feeling? How is Tiffany feeling after losing the Crown Jewel Championship? At least there was a little bit more compassion when it came to Cody. This women's division, man, I am starting to look at my ranking system, ranking the divisions and then ranking the superstars themselves. The women's championship has dropped a couple within the rankings just because there really doesn't seem to be any clear direction whatsoever. In a lot of ways, we kind of did the same thing that we did on Monday Night Raw, but I don't know if it was execution or it's just a lack of depth that is on SmackDown. Because I was looking at the roster, and I don't know how much longer WWE can just be waiting on Bianca Belair to get healthy, because that SmackDown division really does need her in a lot of ways. Because Roxanne comes out on Monday night. They have the talking back and forth, and now they're gonna have a match next week. So what do we do on Friday nights? Tiffany is gonna be in a promo segment. Stephanie got to be out within the crowd. Tiffany is resorted to backstage. I really don't know why we can't have Tiffany Stratton out in front of the crowd cutting promos. I really don't know if it is just a case of they can't trust her after the whole Charlotte Flair thing. If that's the case, get the belt off of her. This is your champion. She needs to be in front of the crowd. Anyway, Vince over. Then it's Kiana James comes out saying, "This is why I picked Julia, not you." Now, I have no belief that we are going to be running a title program between Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton. We could be running a title program between Julia and Tiffany Stratton, which I'm all for. I really do like that matchup quite a bit. We need to get the U.S. title off of Julia. Or maybe, what we need to do is that WWE just needs to realize, okay, we do not have the bandwidth to do 2 mid-card titles right now. So maybe we keep the women's IC title because there is actual investment within that belt. And then maybe we do a title unification between the WWE women's title and the United States title. Merge those together and we keep the women's tag titles on SmackDown. We make that brand exclusive over there, and that can be our mid-card title, because I really don't know what else there is to do. I was looking at my rankings for the women's U.S. title seat. Who is there? There's literally no one there. I didn't even change it. I don't know where Meechin's been. I don't know where BFAB's been. I don't know why she's not focused on defending her title. And I don't know why Kiana's not focused on trying to get her competitors for this. And it's a case of tell not showing, because they're saying, yeah, Julia's a better competitor, blah, blah, blah. She very well could be, but I need to see that. I do expect next week when we do Kiana versus Tiffany, which, also shorthand to Kiana James as well. I'm a fan of hers. I think she is a pretty good wrestler. I didn't mind the partnership between the two, but I wanted Kiana to be, a little bit more of a threat. And instead of just being the person who loses for Julia, then Julia has to step in and actually be the true competitor here. I just didn't like the backstage segment whatsoever. And again, with how I'm rambling about the other things that are going on, it just doesn't seem like a lot of focus. And just really seem like, okay, let's just copy and paste what we did on Monday Night Raw. But instead of being in front of the crowd, we're going to be backstage. And we will start to have the, our United States champion go after the main women's title. Simply only because Julia is the United States champion is the only reason that I'm not fully invested within the program. I think it's going to be a great match. We saw what Tiffany could do with Stephanie. Julia is kind of in that same boat. It will be a fun match. It's just the ramifications of the match I am not a huge fan of. Cody coming out, kicking off, saying, lost one. I would like to think we would never fight again, but let's face it, we probably will. And then now he's got to take care of his business on Monday nights. I got to take care of mine on Raw. And that's the other thing. Again, copy and pasting pretty much both shows. We had a number one contenders match for the main world title on Monday night. We had a number one contenders match for here on Friday Night SmackDown. It all just came down to execution. And then, we had the whole big shock factor that happened on Monday night. And with how this show was going to end, I thought we were going to do it again, where I think we could have probably topped what happened with the Vision on Monday night in a lot of ways, because the rumors were true. Jacob Fatu was not able to compete right now. Now there's some contradictory if he's going to be out for a while. It's non-wrestling related. He has to take care of personal stuff. No, now saying that it's just, gum problems, something with dental that is an issue, which I can relate to. See, I read the comments. And that he should be expected to be back relatively soon. Hopefully it's the second one, because so that way he can be back sooner, and that we don't have to worry about anything that's going on personally between Jacob, but we do hope all is well with him. That match is not going to happen. Drew's coming out. He's obviously the one who attacked him. Say, make me the number one contender right now. Let's do this title match right now. Cody comes out, still in the suit, saying, you know what? You're on. They're brawling through a whole entire commercial break. Really like that spot. Bell rings. They're fighting. I'm thinking they're going to do it because, one, Cody had no prep time whatsoever. He's not even in wrestling gear. I thought this was a good, opportune time to do it. You could do the rematch of Saturday Night's Main Event, and sure, Cody can win it back there. Just, again, that shot of adrenaline that I think SmackDown needs. They're taking steps. Overall, I do think this episode is great. I'm just getting some of my negatives out of the way. Then we do this stupid DQ finish where Cody hits Drew with the belt. They keep fighting. You would assume maybe at Saturday Night's Main Event, we now add a stipulation to the match. Or Survivor Series. Who knows if this match will still happen at Saturday Night's Main Event. And then we add a stipulation to it, and then we draw a line under the sand. I do think Drew needs to win a little bit more. But we will see where it goes. I just wasn't a huge fan of the finish. And again, I do think it was just that shot of adrenaline that SmackDown needed, especially with what we did in the middle of the card quite a bit. We still did the United States Open Challenge, even though we teased it. It was weird because I was actually able to watch the before SmackDown started, like get the TV ready. I had my dinner and I was eating that, but I was getting prepped just so that way I didn't have to rush to change the channel or whatever. I know, DVRs and all that stuff, but I like to watch as live as possible. And like 15 minutes before, they show, hey, here's what's coming up on SmackDown. We have Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre in a number one contenders match. Sami Zayn is going to continue on his United States Open Challenge, and Cody Rhodes will kick off the hour. Cool. Then we get on. Nick Aldis starts off the show saying, just let you know, the Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre match is now a number one contenders match. I already got that. And then we had this segment before the United States Open Challenge where he's like, why am I not doing the United States Open Challenge? Like, I wonder why they cut it. Oh, no, this is just before the recording. Why announce the match during the 15-minute little burner thing before the show even starts? Like, it was just weird. It was really, really weird. And, we tease that The Miz is going to answer the Open Challenge. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And I didn't read the reports until after the show, after it already happened, but Ilya Dragunov makes his return. I'm like, man, I kind of really hope WWE just pulls the trigger and just gives him the belt. Didn't think of it. Didn't think he would. I was like, okay, yeah, he comes back. He fought. Give him a good solid 15 to 20 minutes, which I do think the match went just under 15, or if anything, at 15. Very good back and forth, and then, Dragunov can lose, and then, he can go off in the direction that he's going to go in. But no, we do the Solo Sikoa comes in. He does a little smile. I think Sammy could have just lost. Ilya is able to take advantage of that, hit the H-bomb. 1, 2, 3. We have a brand new U.S. champion. Then we condense, the tag division as well. MFTs come back out. They fight. Wyatt's spooky magic happens. They have a little face-off. We get another holy shit chant. I'm looking forward to the feud, especially with the new presentation of the MFTs. We also had Rey Fenix randomly come out. I know we had the segment before where, Jacob and Rey were fighting over who's going to take pictures first, which is a really odd feud that was happening. Odd argument that was happening within I was like, y'all are grown men. Like, y'all just take turns to taking the pictures. But, it's part of the fun of being a wrestling fan. He comes out, to make things right. He gets jumped. Here comes the Wyatts. Maybe, we get some 6-man tags going on within it. We splitting up the divisions a little bit. Okay, MFTs, y'all go deal with the Wyatts. I'm going to deal with Sami, Ilya, and all of them. Does the U.S. Open Challenge continue? I would like to hope so, because I was kind of liking how, this is another way that we're paying homage to Cena, and then after, December, then you could retire the Open Challenge and not bring it back for like maybe another 5 years or so. And Ilya, I think, could handle continuing it on, but we'll see. Now that Solo's going to be fully involved in it, they also teased, Shinsuke is going to get back involved as well. They had him in Japan, and, he wanted Shinsuke to have a rematch before. So I will assume he's going to get involved as well. U.S. title scene, very, very healthy. They jumped up a lot when it came to the rankings. You'll see that in a couple weeks if they're able to maintain this momentum that they're having. Lots of bodies. Everyone's actually involved within it. So, no Damian Priest on the show, but we had Aleister Black. Actually moved them up to the main event scene since they were in the main event of SmackDown last week. Good video package with him and Zelina Vega. It was always the plan for them to get together at some point. Zelina, she was always a beautiful woman. Okay, let me make that clear. She was always a very beautiful woman. I don't know what it was with that video package, but man, she looked really good during that video. I was like, damn. I always liked Zelina, but she had me like thinking like, wow, man, she looks really good. And this video package, I don't know, maybe heel just looks better on her as opposed to face. But the black lighting, the black and silver hair, again, she just looked really good. I am sipping. I need to get some. I need to get some water because Zelina was making me a little thirsty during that, and I say that with the utmost respect for you, man. But yeah, very good video package. She looked like they were moving forward into the direction that they need to go. Looking forward to it is what I am trying to say. And then the women's tag team championship match. I enjoyed the match. It was the first distraction, so I didn't mind the Blake Monroe stuff. I only had an issue with Sol Roca tapping out. Now, granted, it's to the figure 8. It's one of the very few submissions that are actually protected, or hell, finisher in general, really, that's actually protected. Like, once someone locks into it, I don't recall anyone breaking out of it. If so, it's probably only one person, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. I do think maybe one person has breaking out of it. But that's the thing. Charlotte has been in the company for a long time. Usually when that move's locked in, no one's getting out of it. No one's even getting to the ropes. It's Tap City. I don't mind that. I just don't think it should have been sold because clearly WWE has a lot of plans for her, and she is the future. So maybe not have her tap. Again, a 1-2-3 natural selection could have worked. I don't mind Sol Roca taking a 1-2-3, but if you're going to have a tap finish, maybe Zarya should have been the one to do it. So yeah, overall, good episode of SmackDown. A lot of directions moving forward. Again, starting to restore that feeling a little bit. Not quite to where Monday Night Raw is, but they are taking steps to it. U.S. scene is looking very, very healthy. WWE title scene, they're starting to take steps into the right direction for it. Especially with Cody being gone for so long, we just need to put some rehab into it a little bit. But yeah, it'll elevate. I mean, I'm into the Drew and Cody feud quite a bit. Wish Randy was involved a little bit. I swear all he does is come, look at the belt, and then he just leaves. It's really, really confusing there a little bit. The women's stuff, again, needs to be addressed. Your women's world champion needs to be out in the crowd. And this whole, yeah, well, you can't wrestle because that's why you represent, blah. Like, that's just, to me. You have another mid-card title here. Don't have them collide. Build your division up a little bit. You have the talent there. You have a lot of great women. Just use them. That's all I'm saying. We also have the Motor City Machine Guns. The tag division is starting to take directions to it. MFTs and Wyatts looks like a lot of fun that could be had there. Again, crowd chanting holy shit every time they are looking at each other. Motor City Machine Guns getting back on track. Maybe they're going to be the next ones after the MFT and Wyatts are done with each other. We're also doing Fraxium and DIY. So that we're starting to put those bodies back into play here. Yeah, there's just a lot of things to look forward to. It's just not quite there yet. We're taking steps, but there are some still weak points that we do need to address and talk about. And the women's division, both singles, women's divisions, and maybe the tag divisions too, to a degree, are those sore spots that we really need to address and take some steps into getting better. But, Tiffany will at least be in the crowd next week within a match. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And again, apologies if you could hear the drizzle. But it is a little nice. It actually makes me a little sleepy. You kind of want to take a little nap after this. But yeah, don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give you all, so squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.